This is an equality story again. Women still paid less than men? Nick? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, this comes from The Guardian, so I'll just say that straight away. Women still paid less than men at 4 out of 5 employers in Britain, and it claims that in almost half of companies and public bodies, male employees are paid at least 10% more than their female counterparts. Now, the question is it for the same jobs? And that's the bit they kind of leave out. And in some cases, it may even be for similar jobs, but then we've got the question of salary negotiation. So it's kind of been shown many times that this pay gap is a bit of a myth, but The Guardian clings to it, and they think that they think it's real. They imply that men are just getting paid more for the same job, which is not true. And then they assume it's a good thing. And they say at the current rate of progress, it'll take more than 20 years to close this gap. What I mean is they assume that this is something that we desperately need to be doing. Now, my take is that actually, it may well go the other way, because women are discovering, as people like Louise Perry have written about, and calling herself a so-called reactionary feminist, that actually women don't necessarily want to compete in the corporate world. They may actually go back to wanting to raise families. So I don't think it's going to go like The Guardian thinks.
Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Because in all the countries where they've implemented measures to try and redress gender parity, such as in Scandinavia, women tend to choose more traditional roles, right? So when people have more freedom, they tend to be more segregated by gender. Josh, is this an issue? Because these kind of articles lead to the kind of myth that men and women are paid differently for the same work, which has been illegal for 5 decades and doesn't happen. But what they're talking about here is that because of the choices that various people make, women are more likely to go part-time, things like that, then you get a gap in average earnings. But that's not necessarily a sign of endemic sexism.
No, and it's what, as Nick says, it's not at all mentioned in this article. And that's what's so frustrating about it is, look, you're a newspaper, be honest about this stuff. Bring in some actual facts and some variation to show why the things are the way that they are.
I mean, it's possible that in some corporations, you know, they don't hire women because there is an ingrained sexism within that particular company. I can see that could be the case.
Yeah, and that should be dealt with. Also, they're also saying that 3% of companies, women are paid more than men.
Yeah.
So
well, that's
maybe we've got to deal with that.
Because women in their 20s, they actually earn on average more than men in their 20s.
Yeah, so if a place that hires lots more women in their 20s, like Hooters or whatever, they're getting a lot more.
Yeah, thanks for that one, Josh. OK.